Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. You know, we've done like 6,000 videos. 6,000 videos. I think we've done more YouTube videos than probably 98% of the channels out there.
Yeah, we got it down.
We really do, honestly. I did get notification that just in like the last year, both EEARTS and Evolutionary published more videos than 80% of the channels out there.
Wow.
And we do both of those. We do both of those, you know, plus a third, plus other stuff too. So I'm just getting at the fact that there's an awful lot of people waking up right now, as this last video that we did over on Evolutionary talks about. So, you know, it led me into another topic. Again, what does Donald Trump have in common with Hillary besides kind of the same facial structure a little bit, don't you think? Yeah, there's kind of a roundness there. Yeah, one time they were friends. Look at this. They were out partying together, having a good old time. Yeah, there was a time when he was a registered Democrat, and then he came over to the Republican side. Or did he really? You know, again, they did such a great job showing animosity and even like some downright hatred towards each other at times. Well, it is interesting to note that Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are 19th cousins, according to genealogical research by Genie.com, tracing their shared ancestry to John of Gaunt, 1st Duke of Lancaster, and his wife Catherine Swynford, who were their 18th great-grandparents. Connection also gives them a link to King Edward III, their 19th great-grandfather, giving rise to the commentary about royal blood and ruling a country in their genes. Yeah, absolutely. You know, again, this is part of the reality is when you look close, and by the way, who was John of Gaunt? He was a pretty historic figure. He was the Duke of Lancaster, English prince, military leader and statesman, 4th son, 3rd surviving of King Edward III, and the father of King Henry IV. Because of Gaunt's royal origin, advantageous marriages, and some generous land grants, he was one of the richest men of his era and an influential figure despite the reigns of both his father and his nephew, Richard II. As Duke of Lancaster, he is the founder of the Royal House of Lancaster, whose members would ascend to the throne after his death. His birthplace, Ghent in Flanders, also known in English as Gaunt, was the origin of the name. Yeah, he was involved with the 100 Years' War. That was a conflict between England and France that literally went on for a century. I mean, just crazy, crazy, crazy. You know, he had made an abortive attempt to enforce a claim on the crown of Castile, which is, again, Spain, and, you know, which came through his second wife, Constance of Castile, because they all intermarry. They are all intermarried. This is what they've done. This is what they still do behind the scenes. In fact, when you look at all the presidents of the United States, we might think, hey, we broke away. We're totally independent of the European royal lines. You think? Think again. The question, are all U.S. presidents related? Well, when you start tracing them down, you can see. I mean, some things are easy. Teddy Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt. It's the same name. The 26th and the 32nd president. How about both Bushes? We know that too. And we also know both Bushes end up coming out of Prescott Bush, who was a senator for the state of Connecticut. Also, all three of the Bushes are members of that secret society, the Skull and Bones. But here you go. You can see Madison was related to Taylor, the 4th and 12th president. And then Abraham Lincoln's actually related to both of them. He was the 16th president. In fact, you can tie Bush indirectly to Lincoln, and you can actually tie Bush to Cheney and Bush to Obama. And even Brad Pitt could be thrown in the mix, Tom Hanks, Hugh Hefner. Of course, we were talking about Vlad the Impaler, Celine Dion, Madonna, and Diana, who, according to the Polish psychic, didn't really die, but took on a new identity. And I asked Cindy to look into it, and Cindy said she gets there's a block there, like there's somebody, you got to recognize these people understand how to use quote-unquote magic with a K. They know how to use psychic abilities, and they do know how to cover their tracks. But Diana, yeah, she didn't die in that accident, according to what the Polish psychic sees, and I do think Cindy's in agreement.
Well, what's unusual about her is when I look to see where she's at, I still see her face. And generally, by now, if someone has passed on, they've transformed into another type of being and they look completely different. Although what I am following is the frequency, the signature. But when I look at her, I still see her face. So, take that how you will.
Yeah, and interesting enough, the Polish psychic also looked into Elvis, and he says Elvis is incarnated in a new life. And Elvis wasn't supposed to be famous, but that was something that kind of went wrong in his oversoul's planning, and he got waylaid again by the system, was actually kind of miserable. But here you go, Marilyn Monroe too. So, it's who you know. It is who you know. It's not what you know, because you could always be, brought up to speed later. Back in 2012, this 12-year-old girl, Bridge Ann d'Avignon, discovered that all U.S. presidents but one, Martin Van Buren, are blood related to each other. They're all descendants of the Plantagenet king, John Lackland Plantagenet. Yeah, so you can see they connect many times, in fact, all through. This is basically, again, David Icke has exposed how it makes it easier for them to work with certain beings that exist on the fourth density, lower fourth density to be specific, if they incarnate into the same genetic bloodlines. It makes the connections then to the demonic realm a little bit more solid and easy to interact with.
It does. So, a lot of pieces coming together now, and plus you have history, you have the past, so you start taking those pieces and you start seeing where they fit into the puzzle, and with so many new pieces, boy, that picture's becoming pretty complete.
So you can see how as long as you pick one of them, you're picking the entirety of them, because again, they are ultimately all about achieving one goal, which is just simply maintaining power and maintaining the power structure that's been in place for perhaps 6,000 years. I know it's a lot to take in. Get out and get some exercise. Look like these guys got some brand new shoes, don't they?
That is so cute. Oh my gosh. I hope they're not those Crocs though, because those aren't good for your feet.
Yeah. As always, guys, we invite you to join us over on Patreon. Thank you for your support on Ko-Fi as well, and also through the different affiliate links that we have there on the videos from this point forward. We have a couple of affiliate links, and LifeWave is the newest one, and that's literally patches that can help reflect your own light back into the body to boost your stem cells, which is a good thing. As always, much love. Thanks for your support. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.